Okay, the moment you have all been waiting for. Da-na-na-na. This is exciting. I'm really excited. This is Dispute Day. I hope you guys are excited. Now, disputing, the credit bureaus have 30 days to respond to a dispute. We're going to have you moving along with some other lessons between now and then, but you're looking at about 35 days before you get responses. Now, for some of you, you're going to get responses here in a couple weeks. Others, about 6 weeks are going to go by, and the minute you're starting to get angry, it's going to show up in the mail. Um, Experian, they love taking a long time. TransUnion's usually pretty quick. I really love TransUnion. I've had really good results with them. So we have some copies of some generic dispute letters. Now, a lot of what I go into with you guys is going to be redundant in other lessons, and I will refer to other lessons because there are other letters that you're going to be getting in the future. And the dispute letter is set up in a format that you can change depending on your situation. This is a very basic dispute letter. Keeping it simple is always the way to go. You don't ever want to explain to the credit bureaus any information about the item because that will actually verify the item for them. So if you say, well, I don't agree with this because this company didn't agree, but you use words that tell them that it does exist and it does belong to you somehow, they're going to use that to validate that item, and it's going to stick on your report. So all you want to do is just say it's inaccurate and you want it removed. Now there's variations of that. That's not always what you do, but it could be, here's information that's incorrect. I would like that information changed. So what the issue is and what you want happening. So when a creditor sends you letters, you can use a lot of what's in that letter to put into your letter. So when you need to make reference to what the item is, you use the words from their letter. And then, of course, what you want. There's the beginning and a conclusion to a letter. So always use the same, top and bottom of a letter, but the body is going to change just a little bit depending on your situation. So keep it simple. Don't explain too much. Now, what's really exciting about this is the law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, is on your side. It governs or directs, for lack of a better term, what the credit bureaus are expected to do, and of course what you're able to do with that law. If an item for any reason is not perfect, really, it's not completely accurate, then you can have that item removed. Now, here's something I want you to think about too. Let's say there's an item you believe belongs on there for whatever archaic reason or belief that you've had in your mind. If a company is unwilling to step up and verify that item, legally, it can't be on there. That's the law. So really, getting items removed, it's not up to you to decide if an item should be on there or not. If you want to exercise your rights, it's for the credit bureaus to come up with that. Now, you don't want to be frivolous and just throwing everything on the wall like spaghetti and hoping it sticks. But if you can find something, or there's something about that isn't matching up, it's not being reported correctly, they need to be held to the highest standard. And that's what you're doing right now. Since you are engaged in this process, let's carry through as much as we can. You can get any and all items removed from your report. There isn't anything on a report, really, that you cannot have removed. I say that because I've seen it happen. So yeah, get those items. Go refer to the list that we had you doing in step 1, and let's go after those items that are very that are inaccurate. Now, keep in mind too, the older an item is, the less negative it is. So if an item's brand new, it's going to be the most negative, typically up to a couple of years. Now, we'll get into inquiries later on because they're really not important right now. But you want to go after those items that you feel are the most negative because you're going to get the best results up front. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you don't want to dispute more than 4 or 5. I don't even know if you'd want to refer or dispute as many as 6 negative items in a report. I like keeping it around 4 or 5 items, or less, of course. But what I do is I itemize them. So if you've got, let's say, 10 negative items, 5 of them are medical, do all the medical bills together, because really it's just one issue, even though it's 5 items. And it's professional, it makes sense. That way you can just tackle one issue at a time. So let's say there is an issue with one of the medical bills. There probably will be with all 5. Or 4 won't be able to stick and 1 would. So divide it that way. Let's say you have an issue with credit cards or a card that was moved to another account. Those 2 could be 1 item, and so divide them that way. So if you have 10 negative items, what you're going to basically do is 2 round 1s. First 30 days, you're going to do the first 5 items. Okay? The next month comes around, you're going to do the other 5 items. Now, let's say out of those 2 rounds, those 2 first rounds, you had to remove 3 negative items on each. Then you're going to take those remaining 2, you're going to put them together and make 4, and that is going to be in your next letter, which is going to be a prove it letter. So yeah, those of you that have a lot of items, we're going to take a little bit longer to do this because it's going to be most effective to you. And then, that is, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I'm going to explain more about that later on right now, but that is the form that you're going to start. Okay, so let's get those letters written up and let's get those sent out. There's a PDF that has the addresses and phone numbers to the credit bureaus. Go ahead and refer to those. Print those things off if you can. Start putting them in a folder. If not, you can save them right to your computer and go from there. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. We're going to take it up a little bit of a notch next week. This is exciting because now you're going to really start attacking your credit score while we're waiting for items to start coming off. Okay, so yeah, 30 days from now, let's see how many of those items get off. I'm encouraged, and I'm really excited to see what kind of results you guys are getting. So see how easy this is? It really is easy. But it's so worth it. And so continue on. We've got a lot to look forward to. I'll see you guys next week.